You see how beautiful it is? This is how you trace the side lines. This is how you trace the lines, the outside allowance, and here is the inseam allowances. Here is how you sew it. So after creating your pocket, this is how you, this is the pocket, this is the pocket here. So from here is where you're going to run your sewing. Thank you. Okay guys, let's take this illustration on how to sew a pant, a female pant or a trouser. Let's take this illustration. You're going to enjoy how we're going to narrate this illustration. Okay, here we have our waist. Just as you see in my previous video, here is my waist, here is my hips, here is my crotch line. My hips line and my crotch lines are here. Remember, crotch line is always closer to the hip because after the hip, it's to curve it, so French curve it to the crotch. So crotch line is always between, it's always close to the hip. So after the crotch line, another point you're going to take the measurement, you know, is a fitted trouser. It's not just any other like palazzo or whatever. This is a fitted trouser. Another thing you have to take your attention to is the laps. After the laps, another point is the ties. That is why you're seeing this alphabetical word. Here we have laps, L, ties, T, knee, K, hip, H, waist, W. So you have it here, how it's being illustrated. So I have to take the lines of this one, each and every one of them. Then we have our laps, we have the ties, we have the nails. I don't need to be ruling lines so that you know, but wherever this alphabet is indicated, there is the point we are going to take the measurement of each and every one of them. And I want to help you understand that when you're taking a measurement of a pant or a trousers, let's just call it trousers. When you're taking measurement of trousers, how to sew trousers, you will take the measurement of the waist point, round your waist. You take when you are taking the cotton, you have to divide it into 4, being the waist point. You divide it into 4. Then on the hip, after taking it round, you have to divide it into 4. Then on the thighs, laps, and the nail, this point, after taking it round, you have to divide it into 2. So from the thighs, from the laps, thighs, and nail, you have to divide it into 2. You have to divide it into 2. So if the laps is something like 24, divided by 2 is 12. If the thighs is 22, divided by 2 is 11. If the nails is 18, divided by 2 is 9. So that is how I mean. I meant that you have to be dividing it into 2, not like the hip or like the waist. The waist is being divided into 4, while the hip is being divided into 4. I believe you have understood very well. As you watch this video, don't forget to, if you know you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Share my video, comment on my video. Also like my video. This is how to sew a trouser, a female trouser. It's still the same pattern how to cut a male trouser, but just that the crotch of a male trouser used to be lower than a female trouser crotch. There is not too much difference on it. So we are unisex designers, LOISYCA'S fashion concepts. Always search for LOISYCA'S fashion concepts on Google. You're gonna see our posts, our beautiful posts, how we run our days. But here is our TV channel on YouTube. Please don't forget to subscribe. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, on our waist, we have divided into 4 and take a part of it to create our waist from the points of the crotch, the width part of the crotch, the place you're seeing this line, we have taken our waist. After taking your waist, you have to add your inseam allowances on the crotch part, the one you're going to use to close your crotch part, you have to add on the sides. That means in total you have your measurement. Then on the hip side, the same thing, depends on any measurement you want to use to add your inseam allowance. You have to add on the hip side. Then after dividing into 4, then ignore the crotch line. We don't have anything to do with it on taking measurement or wherever. Then on the thighs, you have a measurement of the thighs from this point. That is the point. We take measurement of our thighs under, after the crotch, under. You have to take measurement of the thighs, divide it into 2, and add like a 3/4. Add like 3/4 for the side, allowance, for the sides sewing allowances. The same thing applicable to the thighs. The same thing applicable to the nails. Divide it into 2 and add only for the side allowance. Then what is going to happen on the inseam allowance? Inseam allowance, you're not going to add any allowance now on the front part. You don't need to add any allowance on the front part of the inseam allowance of a straight fitted trouser. All you have to do is to create French curve your crotch, your front crotch. French curve your front crotch. After French curving your front crotch, then you see where the line started. It's not from the beginning. You have to shift your hand inside and make sure it is very straight. Now, here is our straight trouser cutting. On the bottom side, don't forget to measure the bottom leg of the trouser and divide it into 2. After dividing it into 2, the part you're seeing B, indicated B, divide it into 2 and still do the same additional measurement on the side allowance. So now we have to cut. Like I myself, I used to add my side allowance with only 3/4. I don't add it up to 1 inches or 1 inch or half. I don't use half. Okay, after cutting the front part, is in 2. I have to fold it into 2 to get these 2 layers of front parts. Cut the crotch. So you see it here. In case you have joined these 2 together, this is how beautiful and straight and also smooth your trouser is looking like. It's nice, so beautiful, with a very fine hip curved out. Okay, now we have to use this pattern to recut the back side. Then watch very carefully how we cut the back side. Watch very carefully. I want to give you the illustration also on how we cut the back side. On the back side is being illustrated this way. Here is the waist. Add only 1 inch from the waist out. Add 1 inch. Then on the inseam over here, add 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5 till the bottom part of it. 1.5 on the crotch parts. All you have to do is to rule out your line. If you can follow it up, you're going to be the best in making trousers. You see how I keep my French curve? You have to French curve it this way. This is slant. It's very slant. I believe you can see the difference between the crotch on the front and the back crotch. I believe you can see the difference. See how slant it is? Here we added only 1 inch to expand it to this way on the back side, to expand the inseam with 1.5, 1.5. So I have to shadow it here. You see, We have 1.5, 1.5, 1 inch extra on the inseam. But on the other side, being the side measurement, you don't need to add an extra measurement. You have to allow it to be the same way it is from the front side to the back side. Okay guys, let's cut. So you see, I believe you can see the difference between the front and the back. It's equal here, but it's not equal inseam. From the crotch to the inseam is not equal because it's the back side. The front side has to, the crotch on the front side has to be a little bit inner, and it has to be adjusted. So this very part that we added, this extra that we added, this extra 1.5 that we added, is gonna be the allowances that is going to join the front and the back. It's going to join the front and back. Then after joining the front and back, remember, you have seen the difference between the front side and the back side. So the 0.7 that I've already added here is for the sewing allowance that I've already added here. I've already added it here, so it's already for the two ways, the front and the back. But on the front side, I have to add 1.5. That 1.5 divided by 2 is 3/4. That is 0.7. So that is what you use and close this front leg and the back leg. That is the excess allowance. So remember, sewing or cutting of pants is always larger. The back side is always broader than the front side. Front side used to look very slim, and it's going to give fitting the way it is because the back have already taken it all. The back side have already bring it out and is giving to the front side, so it has to make it to be very okay. So I believe you've seen that cutting of panties or cutting of female panties or trousers is very simple. It's as simple as ABC. Maybe on my next video I'm going to teach you how to cut pocketing. I have to teach you how to cut pocketing on a trouser on my next video.